Doomsday Mom, as she is known, and her cult leader husband are no longer a two-for-one as they get close to trial in a horrible and bizarre triple murder case. Lori Vallow and her husband, number 5, by the way, Chad Daybell, will stand trial separately. That's according to the judge who severed or split their trials. It's a twisted case that spins around money, religion, zombies. Yep, zombies, and the end of the world. I want to bring in Lauren MATTHIAS. She is host of Hidden True Crime podcast and YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being with us, Lauren. First of all, the trials being separate now, who does that actually help, Lori or Chad?
You know, I think it helps Chad most. Chad Daybell now is going to have more time to prepare, and he's going to be able to really point the finger at Lori, the mother of the 2 children who were killed in this absolute heinous act. And so he is going to be able to, I think, frame her a lot more easily now. She's the mother. He can have more time to prepare, and he's really going to be able to point that finger at her.
Do you think it's possible, Lauren, that they could turn on each other now, that the trials are separate? Could one of them think, this may work out better for me, and start testifying against the other?
From what I've seen, I think it's possible that they're already thinking about this. When it comes to Chad Daybell's attorney, John Pryor, he has stated in court that his defense, Chad's defense, is going to be a lot different than Lori Vallow Daybell's defense. In other words, I think that they realize that Chad's best defense would be to put that blame on his wife.
Interesting. So no cameras. I think that's where it stands right now. The judge is saying no cameras in the courtroom, but my understanding is the prosecution wants cameras, and this is still sort of unsettled. How do you think that plays out?
You know, not only do some people want cameras, the victims, Larry and Kay Woodcock, they want cameras. They have been here every step of the way seeking justice for JJ and Tylee. JJ is their biological grandson who she allowed Lori to adopt, and they want cameras in the courtroom. They think that they have been there every step of the way. They want to see justice served, and they want to make sure that it is clear that there are cameras in the courtroom.
Yeah, and it sounds like if it's something that's important to the family, that's something that the judge should take into consideration. The way the couple lived, raised the kids, it's all so bizarre. Extreme religious views, belief in zombies, delusions about biblical end times. Will any of that sort of crazy stuff, do you think, make it into the trial? Or is this all just going to be focused on the physical evidence?
You know, that's a good question. I think that right now that's a debate. There's a question as to whether or not they can use the strange beliefs that these 2 both carried. And I think that the belief system would, while it would be interesting, and I do think that the belief system is a big part of this case and should be part of the trial. I've read 2 years of FOIA docs from Arizona, what they have, the evidence. Even without the religious beliefs, they have a strong case against both from the evidence that I've seen.
Yeah, and it seems like that would sort of tell the full story. Lauren MATTHIAS, thank you so much for being with us.